The dynamics of your headwear, boy.
The dynamics of your headwear.
You city fellas, you wear them silly little
Kevlar,
hats.
Kevlar anti-ballistic helmet.
I need to write these things down because I could do all these videos when you're running around. Make fun of me.
Oh.
For making fun of myself.
Sit.
Are we gonna mix and match, or are we good to go?
We can mix and match.
We want to move around.
Like change it up, change your positions.
It's like, man, these guys just sat here and drank beer after beer.
It don't matter, dude. You okay? You gonna hit the button?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I'll tell you. You know the drill.
Can I be Joe Size? Can I be anti?
Yeah.
We'll see.
I would love it if you would be.
You gotta turn your body like
Backhand me.
Yeah.
You can't be putting my guy on there.
No, we're not. Now you are.
And we're live ish.
Where are we?
What?
What? Where are we at?
What?
If I didn't know no better, I'd say y'all's trying to make fun of me.
What?
This ain't my channel, y'all. Y'all don't listen to this crap. But I tell you what, I'm gonna set them straight.
Simmer down, Hobias. Gordon from the APN, Arkansas Preparedness Network.com. Well, Facebook and YouTube. You know the deal. Hobias Josiah, Hobie 909, HOBIE 909, Bear Independent, and the Homie Biscuits, and the lovely and talented Mrs. Gordon over here.
Lady Lois.
Lady Lois. My laird and my lady. So we got a question, we meaning I, got a question from George Martin. So first of all, thank you for writing those books about, what's that damn, with all the people killing each other and everybody dies?
Lord of the Flies?
No. It's on,
What's a book?
the Bible. Yes, thank you for writing the Bible.
Wait, that was Moses.
The ones with the dragon chick, Daenerys Targaryen or whatever.
I don't know. Anyway.
Whatever, man. You need to get off of HBO and start writing books again. Okay? So thank you. Game of Thrones, that's the one.
Ain't nobody got no time for no TV. There's critters to be worked out here. There's fielding to be done.
Can't get no HBO
Well,
on
you
that.
got me here. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Come on now.
Nah, you put some foil on there, you be all right.
Nah, you can't get no HBO on rabbit ears. All right. George Martin, thank you for the books. Get back to writing, you dirty old man. Where to buy land for homesteading? And we're not going to camp on any of this for too long because he asked like a 12-part question and it filled up my hand with notes. Now this is for YouTube, so Mr. George Martin, understand that typically we do this on Patreon and the barrier to entry is $1 and it's the best dollar a month you can spend on the internet, says me. So
I'm out.
I got a quickie on this one.
go ahead with the quickie.
Buying land for homesteading. Number one, I would say stay away from the coastlines. Secondly, you can do a Google search for population density maps and then find population less dense areas. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. You want land that has water on it or near it. You want land that has mature trees and a change in elevation, but it's not totally wooded. You need the trees as a resource. You need the water as a resource. Land, generally speaking, good land that's fertile that you can graze or grow is going to be a couple $3,000 an acre.
He said fertile.
What's that mean?
In a couple areas, most areas. You can buy crap land, and I say crap land meaning that you're going to have to do some work to it for
It's all
$500 an acre.
Your front yard's gravel.
But it's going to be very hard to homestead on.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, and it could be beautiful, but it's going to be rough. So where should you buy land to homestead? If you're a good guy, Arklatexa. If you're not, probably Indiana, something like that. You know, Minnesota sounds pretty good.
You know.
Canada. So
I'm off the knees over there.
I'll tell you, if you are a good guy,
Google satellite and look for the green areas.
If you are a
That's
good
what I
guy,
did. Like,
then I would recommend northwestern Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, southwestern Missouri, southeastern Kansas area. There's a lot of good people in that area. There's a lot of scumbags too, but it's a higher concentration of good people.
The western slope of the Appalachian Mountains is pretty good area too.
So, but I would recommend having water for sure,
Yeah.
especially if you want to homestead. Even if it's not a well, having a pond or a lake or a stream or a river or some kind of water, because you're going to die without it, so are your animals. You got anything to add to this?
Man, I inherited all my land from my mama. Get a good mama. That's all I can say about
There you
it.
go. Get a good mama. You want land for homesteading? Get a good mama.
the sugar mama.
Okay.
Sugar mama, yeah.
Ain't nothing sweet about my mama, boy.
All right, part 2. Come on.
Necessary roles for the tribe.
Ooh, necessary roles.
So, and FYI, again, shameless plug, we literally just shot a video for Patreon talking about defining the difference between a mag, a tribe, a team, a community. What does that look like? Areas of responsibility, how many people, who reports to what, all of that. So we just covered tribe versus mag.
Bear Independent on Patreon.
Thank you, bro.
$1 barrier to entry. What is it? $20 gets you personal telephone consults.
Yes, sir.
So
$20 and up. It gets real serious, and it's a lot of fun. You guys are both patrons.
we don't know anything about fun. What are you talking about?
Ain't got no time for no fun. Telling you that right now. I got cows to feed.
Yet here you are.
Okay, wait.
All right.
What was the
necessary
question again?
roles for the
Necessary
tribe?
roles.
Okay, security is an obvious one.
Right.
It's where most everybody goes to. Somebody should be your farmer / rancher. You're gonna need a good mama.
Well, you're going to have. I mean, if you're dependent on a pretty good team of folks, you're probably going to need one person to handle your protein, such as your chickens, your livestock, whatever. We'll call it livestock. One person for livestock and one person for gardening.
Yep.
So you're going to need 2 different people there. You're going to need probably 3 or 4 people for security.
Ideally, at a minimum.
You need some sort of, I'm going to go ahead and say spiritual leader, counselor,
I
somebody
agree.
who can help with mental, emotional problems in the group. Somebody needs to know how to cook.
And kill roosters.
Somebody definitely needs to know how to cook, because men that like to walk around the borders of the property carrying rifles and stuff like to eat.
Yeah, you got to feed them.
Let's see, what else?
Look at that beautiful sky back there. Sorry.
That is gorgeous.
Medical, for sure.
Yep.
People medical and animal medical. So, in Texas, in the tribe in Texas, we were fortunate to have a general practitioner and a chiropractor. So that was awesome. And we had, getting back to the spiritual thing, touching on that, we had an older couple, some would even say elderly couple. They were well into their 70s, late 70s. Beautiful people who ran a Christ-based conflict resolution and marriage counseling business out of their home.
Oh, wow.
And
Professionals.
they've been working with couples for 40 years, and they're just the coolest people. They can de-escalate anything.
And of course, a lot of these people out here that are watching this are going, man, I don't need none of that. Let me tell you something. You put 8 people together in a confined space for like a month, and the only people you see are each other. Yeah, you're going to need some counseling.
Yeah, you already need counseling.
Man, me and the old lady went to counseling one time. I think we better wait on that story, though.
Here we go.
We got a big, long list of stuff, apparently.
In case y'all want to see more of that, that's Hobie909 on YouTube. HOBIE 909. That's
Yeah.
Tobias Josiah.
Let's see. Hilo Oscar Bravo India Echo
I
909.
thought it was hotel.
Wait, man.
You
I
don't
don't
hotel?
speak.
You don't know hotel?
Yeah.
I don't speak Spanish.
Spanish.
I don't habla, okay?
No habla.
Whatever you just said, I don't know what you said.
Yeah, you know what? Hotel, yeah. Hotel. India,
Okay,
I'm
wait,
sorry.
but back to necessary roles.
Back to necessary roles.
You got to have a gardener. You got to have somebody for livestock, assuming that you want protein if you're not vegan.
Yep.
You got to have security. You got to have somebody who can cook. You got to have somebody who knows quite a bit about first aid, dealing with that.
Who's going to process your wood? Who's going to fix things,
Man,
build things?
a lot of people can provide muscle.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. Think about your situation, and that's another thing. Everybody's community needs are going to be different. It depends on where you live. You know, what your desires, what your preps are.
And how many, the type of people and quantity you have in your group, because I mean, we have just in this mag that we're building in this area now, a bunch of kids, somebody,
Ooh, education.
education, and just think about like,
Homeschool books. You can
Yep.
buy homeschool courses and stuff online. And see, I didn't even think about this. I should have thought about this.
tribe
Communications.
mamas. That's right.
Communications. You need somebody who knows about radio communications, because you need to be able to communicate within your perimeter. You also need to be able to communicate with people outside your perimeter. So think about that one.
Okay. Necessary roles for the tribe. We covered that. Buying land for homesteading. We talked about that. How to get your mag to save
Save what?
money
Save money. How do you, ooh.
toward preps. If your mag isn't
Man.
saving money toward preps, you don't have a mag, brother.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of people that are just playing. And we ran into that, we meaning myself and Hami ran into that down in Texas, that half of the people loved the idea but would not take action.
No pulling the trigger.
No pulling the trigger. And I love them as people. They're great people, but they just were not nearly as serious about it as we were. And frankly, it will engender resentment when you see people that are supposed to be pulling as hard or harder than you are, spending money on crap when you're working 12, 14, 16 hours a day to pay the bills and have money to buy all the things that you're going to need and get the training that you're going to need and go shooting and do all the things. Man, if they're not putting in now, you got a bunch of buddies. You don't have a team.
Yeah.
And it's not the same thing.
I totally agree. If you have people around you that will not commit, and I mean commit, to at least $20 a month, $50 a month,
Yep.
$100 a month to put towards preparedness, to putting back some food, to buy medical supplies, then they don't need to be part of your group. They need to be somewhere else, and you need to find somebody else to fill that slot. What you did a video a while back on nickels, dimes, quarters,
The four
pennies.
quarters philosophy.
That's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Get rid of the pennies and find you some dimes and quarters.
Yep. They got pennies where you from?
Man, I found a couple of quarters in the couch the other day. I was looking for my wife's Pall Mall lighter. I did a video with it.
I saw that.
Y'all ought to check it out.
I did.
Hey, your bushcrafting video was great.
Oh
Man.
man,
That was a great video.
You don't need all that
Actual.
stuff, man.
I learned a lot from that video.
We probably got some cardboard tinder right over yonder.
Okay. Financial advice
Oh,
for SHTF minimums to establish a cabin or a safe house. So I'm going to guess based upon that question
do that now.
that y'all are in the burbs and you're looking for a piece of land out in the middle of nowhere or away-ish so that you can bring a bunch of people out of her, my people, onto this piece of land that you're trying to find so you can homestead it and get your mag to save money so that you can buy it and understand what roles in your tribe you're going to need when you get there. And then how do you get the money to buy the land and the safe house and the cabin? So I'm getting an idea of where you're at just based upon the questions that you're asking. It's tough to pool your resources without any accountability. So that'd be the first thing. And everybody's financial means are going to be different. The guy that's making $30,000 a year can't put in the same dollar amount as the guy that's making $120,000 a year. but you might be able to establish a percentage. And that has to be done by unanimous decision, that we're all going to take 5% of our income and put it
5%
in.
of every paycheck goes towards whatever.
The day before.
So
we won 25.
now, as to what you get and where you get it and all of that, we kind of talked about that a little bit, but you need to be very careful that you're managing expectations, because if you have a guy that makes, we'll say 6 or 7 figures a year, brushing up against the guy that makes 5 figures a year, and yeah, they didn't put in the same dollar amount, but they put in the same percentage amount, and you got one cabin, who do you think is going to feel more entitled to be there? The guy that makes, $600,000 a year, the guy that makes $60,000 a year.
So that goes to this, and I did a video for Arkansas Preparedness Network not too long ago on trust, and I'm going to put this in a little bit of a lighter subject, and I'm sure Hobias is going to chime in on this one. But being in the military, being in the Army, let me say this: these people that you're surrounding yourself with, first and foremost, you need to trust these people enough to be in a shower room with these people and bend over and pick up the soap without being concerned about what might happen.
Right.
So trust. I know that,
Man, I don't know about all that. I ain't bending over naked in front of no man. I ain't even going to shower in the same house as a naked man.
So if you can't trust these guys on that kind of level, then they don't need to be in your group, because it's about quality, not quantity, first and foremost.
So I'd also think about, if you're trying to buy a piece of land or a cabin for SHTF,
Close your eyes.
I would absolutely err on the side of utilitarian versus comfort. A family
Most
to a
definitely.
bedroom, a family to a bedroom, if not tighter than that. We have plans in place here that if we need to, without putting up any extra structures, just with the bedrooms that we have and the barn space that we have, I can put up 11 families here. It ain't going to be comfy, but it's going to be better than sleeping in those pine trees back there.
Or in an open field.
Or in that
you know.
sukkah that we built in the springtime.
Man, I would much rather sleep in a breezy barn with a wood stove in it than in a tent when it's 20 degrees outside.
Amen. So, err on the side of utilitarian, not comfort. The comfort will come if you have the budget,
And the right people
to
help you do the work.
But you don't need to buy a Shangri-La in the middle of nowhere. And in a lot of cases, that doesn't exist in the first place.
Man, you can buy a couple of acres somewhere and put you a little 8x12 shed on it, put you a little wood stove in it, turn that shed into a cabin.
Yeah.
That's a minimalistic. Of course, you're going to need to dig a hole, something to, your sanitation needs. Everybody's got to go to the bathroom, right? So you're going to need to take care of that. But it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's not a 5-star hotel. We're talking about worst case scenario. You need someplace to go to where you can stay to hopefully ride out whatever storm may be coming.
Yep. Get out of the weather.
Yeah.
Is predominantly what shelter is for. Get out of the weather. And also as you're looking at places, if it's weather tight, count it a blessing, because I just told somebody yesterday, this place is the land of almost. When we bought this place, everything is almost done, but there ain't a damn thing here that is done. And it's that the house is almost fixed up, the barn is almost watertight, that house over there is almost put together, these trees are almost trimmed, there's almost a bridge across the creek.
Yeah,
everything is almost done.
The people that live here are awesome.
Well, thank you. But that's part of your tribe, getting your community put together, that you guys can come into union with the property and make something happen. So if you find a place that's almost done, pull the trigger on it. put some sweat equity into the place. You're going to be much better off.
Blood, sweat, and tears, baby.
Yep. You'd be much better off price-wise than trying to buy something turnkey. Most people do not have the budget or the cash flow to buy something turnkey. So,
Right.
George Martin, thank you for all the entertainment with all those crazy books that you wrote.
Hopefully we helped you somewhat.
I wish you'd write some more of them. And just as a brief reminder to all of you guys out there in YouTube land, this is but a small taste of what we do on Patreon. If this was a Patreon video, we probably would have broken this into 4 videos, one for each of the subjects that we just covered, so that we could drill deep on them, because that's what we do over there. So, patreon.com.
I was just gonna say, you naked men in the shower drilling deep ain't right, boy. There's something not right about these two here.
Bye.
Shalom.
He left that dang phone on again, man. What's that button do?
What the damn hell's going on over here? Who that?
What is that thing?
Who is that?
You know the chickens is taking over the world, right?
What chickens? Is it that one or is it that one?
It's never ending.
I don't trust no damn government.
Government. Government.
You can't trust them at all. You'd be better off in a hole out there in the woods.
In a ditch. In a ditch.
I got one of them.